This was going to be a day in the life. Just take deep breaths, not let the panic set in. I literally just wanted to get groceries, but instead it's a week in the life. This is just Monday. I guess I just don't know how to make my life easier. I have to make it even harder.
Try to fight it, but you can't even feel it. Try to deny it, but it's coming for someone you love.
And so we have a circle.
Not the ones
What do you choose? Squinty McGee?
that deceive her. Can I hide away above it all? In the silence is conceded.
The morning is really the only time that I'm comfortable taking off my mask. Nobody's been in my room for like 12 hours, and obviously I just wiped everything down. So it's as sanitary as it's gonna get in here. So mornings are usually the time where I have my mask off. Maybe I'll drink my water. Other than that, I really don't ever take off my mask. There's really no reason to. I don't really feel safe doing that, so.
No, the world just have to trust now. Then maybe we'll find out, but now we're coming to the place.
Just take deep breaths to not let the panic set in. There were a lot of people not wearing masks. Masks below their chins. Okay. Got my first breakdown out of the way.
Blind by design. Maybe we're blind by design. It's something special that we'll keep it in a place that's close and near and dear to our hearts.
So today, guys, unfortunately is a very, I was gonna say it's a very exciting day. I feel like that's disingenuous. Instead, fancy SAT words out here. Instead, I will be honest with you and say we have a CBA.
'cause I feel it, and I can see that I've been left in the dark now. Or what's worse, that we need it. It leaves me speechless, but we'll just have to trust now. Oh, that there's things bigger than us now. And maybe we'll find out, but now we're coming to that place in the tall grass. It seems like the elders have lost time, and the lessons we've learned from a long past have all but abandoned our small minds. Scream about nothing but fear.
Lunchtime is really the only time I have to be actually safe and feel like normal.
Maybe we're blind by design. Coming to the place we talk. Maybe we're blind by design. Lessons we've learned from a long time. Oh, maybe we're blind by design. About nothing but fear. Maybe we're blind by design. Maybe one day we'll learn our truth. Oh, maybe we're blind by design. Sometimes realize there's nowhere to go. 'Cause the thing we're searching for is just waiting back home.
That concludes today's lockdown drill. Normally at the end of lockdown drill, labs will be released by administrators or the police department, classroom by classroom. Today, however, we are all here in lockdown drill. That's now concluded. Thank you.
But you also had your cup filled up. And we both know every time you come around, every time you return, you see it in your tired eyes. I can see that you still have more to go.
Let me tell you something, Tracy. It can't be anything like love, can it?
No, it mustn't be. It can't.
Would it be inconvenient?
Terribly. Anyway, I know it isn't. Oh my, we're out of our minds.
Right into our hearts.
Music.
It does, doesn't it? Tracy, you're so...
If my insteps are melting away. What is it? Have I got feet of clay or something? It's not under the pool. It's just over the lawn and in the village grove. It'll be lovely now.
Tracy, you're tremendous.
Put me in your
Oh, sometimes find yourself knowing no. Lost and looking for your soul. Grabbing for what you can hold. Sometimes
I literally just wanted to get groceries. I ended up at the wrong grocery store for my grocery order. And then my car died. Naturally, this is my day. There she is.
waiting back home. I stay waiting for you.
Alright, well, I'm at the mechanic. Now I wait for my roommate to pick me up. This is just Monday. So before I say anything else, I have to say,
I can't speak for all teachers. I can't even speak for any of the teachers in my district. I can't even speak for any teachers in my building, because every single one of us is experiencing something different. And I teach middle school. Elementary schools are a completely different planet right now. High schools are even more different. There are a lot of things that I have to acknowledge before I move on, because I want to be as honest about it as possible. There are also some pieces about this that I didn't include. There isn't an interesting way for me to include all the footage of me grading after school, the hours and hours and hours I spend grading at home. There isn't an interesting way to include the fact that I don't ever have hot lunch because I am scared of using the microwave. There isn't an interesting way to talk about how I bought my own fridge because I didn't want to share the fridge that's in the staff room. Everything about this video is part of my day, from driving to work and getting up early, from quarantining myself at the end of the day. Everything that I decided to include on this, I included because it was typical. It's not the worst thing that anybody's experienced, and God knows that there are school districts in this state and in this country that have it so much worse than I do. Maybe it's extra to include stuff like my car breaking down. Maybe it's extra to include a lockdown drill. It's the reality of what I'm living right now. The reality is that my car is gonna break down. But because everything else is so stupidly stressful right now, I am shattered by my car breaking down instead of mildly inconvenienced. Anytime that a lockdown drill happens, I have to think about the ramifications of COVID-19 and the reality that a shooter could come into my school at any time. I'm used to a classroom where students can walk around, and I'm used to a classroom where I can walk around. I'm used to students being able to ask me for help without typing it out. I'm used to offering snacks to the kids who I know haven't eaten since yesterday. I'm used to being able to quietly ask if a kid is okay when they're crying on their desk. I'm used to offering kids books freely. I'm used to... There's nothing normal about this. And there's nothing okay about this. But we're getting used to it. We're getting comfortable. And we're getting sick. It's true that I still love my kids. It's true that I am struggling. There have been a lot of days this year where I wake up and I just can't get out of bed because I can't imagine having to do this again. And I'm not alone in that. I'm not the only teacher in the world who is having a hard time. I'm not the only teacher in the world who's overwhelmed. If I had to say anything to other teachers, it would be that we are not heroes. We're just people. And we have been forced into this situation by a system that is willing to sacrifice us for convenience and comfort and money. We don't have to glorify all of the hard work that we do. We don't have to turn it into a contest of who is sacrificing the most. What we need to do is protect ourselves, and we need to protect our kids, and we need to continue doing our work. But that doesn't mean that we need to sacrifice our safety, and it doesn't mean that we need to sacrifice our mental health. It just means that we need to be there for each other, and we need to be there for our kids, and we need to expect very little from this year. I would love to pretend that that week was an outlier, that I don't have a breakdown at least once a day, and that I have boundless energy and that I can do everything that I need to do. I'm gonna go home and I'm going to lay down. I'm gonna do nothing else because that's how much energy I have. I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna do my work, probably be up until very late, and I'm gonna do it all again tomorrow. If you're a parent watching this, have some grace with us. We're doing our best. And if you're a student, you probably have something you need to turn in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. My coworker and I are gonna be eating on the patio, a little bit closer to the building, because it rained today and neither of us have cars.